What if the world's most terrifying predators aren't hiding in the darkness, but are the very people women trust most? Their partners, their colleagues, even their own family. I'm Detective Obscura. Join me as we declassify some of the most haunting cases of femicide and crimes against women, where every detail is a stark reminder. Justice for women is never as simple as it should be. Each story is a testament to courage, a warning, and a question. How far can cruelty go before the world finally listens? In a quiet Austrian suburb, beneath the floorboards of a respectable family's home was a secret dungeon. Joseph Fritzell imprisoned his own daughter, Elizabeth, in a windowless cellar for 24 years, fathering 7 children with her through relentless SA. 3 children grew up in darkness, 3 above ground, unaware of their true origins. Elizabeth was lured into the basement at 18, drugged, and locked away. Fritzell visited almost daily, subjecting her to SA and psychological torment. The children born in captivity never saw daylight. The horror only ended when Elizabeth's eldest daughter fell gravely ill, forcing Fritzell to seek medical help, unraveling decades of secrecy. Authorities were stunned by the elaborate concealment. For years, Fritzell maintained a double life, deceiving his wife and neighbors. The investigation exposed failures in social services and law enforcement. How had such horror gone undetected for so long? A bustling hospital in Kolkata became the scene of a brutal crime when a dedicated 31-year-old doctor, exhausted after a 36-hour shift, was found SA'd and murdered inside a seminar hall. Her semi-nude body bore savage injuries, and forensic evidence, along with CCTV footage, quickly pointed to Sanjay Roy, a civic volunteer with a known history of abuse. Roy was arrested within a day, but the investigation soon revealed troubling signs of systemic failure. Evidence was mishandled, delays occurred, and hospital authorities were suspected of possible cover-ups. Despite Roy's arrest, forensic reports raised alarming questions. Blood was found streaming from her eyes, and the amount of body fluid recovered suggested multiple assailants. If Roy was the sole perpetrator, how could such injuries and evidence be explained? These inconsistencies fueled public outrage, leading to a 42-day strike by junior doctors and sparking a nationwide debate on women's safety in public institutions. The case was transferred to the Central Bureau of Investigation for a more thorough probe. Ultimately, Roy was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment, but many questions remain unanswered. How could one man inflict such horrific violence alone? Were hospital authorities hiding critical evidence? Was this truly a gang SA? The case exposed not only a tragic crime, but also deep institutional flaws, leaving a lingering shadow over justice and accountability. In Kazakhstan, the murder of Saltanat Nukanova by her husband, former government minister Kwandik Bishimbayev, became a national reckoning. This was not just another statistic. It was a brutal public unraveling of the deadly intersection between domestic violence and unchecked authority. Inside a private VIP room at a chic restaurant in Astana, Saltanat endured hours of torture at the hands of her husband. Security cameras captured Bishimbayev dragging her by the hair, beating her mercilessly, and repeatedly slamming her head against the floor. Staff heard her desperate cries, but fear and the shadow of Bishimbayev's influence kept them silent. By the time help arrived, Saltanat had succumbed to her injuries, her life extinguished in a place meant for celebration. The trial, broadcast and watched by millions, laid bare the impunity so often enjoyed by powerful men. Bishimbayev's conviction and 24-year sentence marked a rare victory for justice, but also served as a grim reminder of the countless cases that remain hidden, unreported, or dismissed. Investigators faced immense pressure, political, social, and personal. Every detail was scrutinized, every misstep amplified. The case ignited a nationwide debate about legal reforms and the urgent overdue need for real protection for women trapped in cycles of domestic violence. For many, Saltanat's name became a rallying cry, a symbol of both tragedy and the hope for change. Japan, late 1980s. Junko Furuta was a bright high school student in Saitama Prefecture, simply riding her bicycle home from work when her world was shattered. 4 teenage boys, led by Hiroshi Miyano, ambushed her, threatening her family with yakuza violence if she ever tried to escape. Junko was held captive in a house in Adachi, Tokyo, enduring relentless torture, starvation, SA, and humiliation. Forced to call her parents and pretend she had run away, she suffered while adults in the home looked away. Gripped by fear or indifference, the violence escalated with each passing day. Burns, forced ingestion of chemicals, beatings so severe her face became unrecognizable. By the end, she was too injured even to walk. After a final, brutal assault, Junko's life was extinguished. Her body was hidden in a concrete-filled metal drum and abandoned at a construction site. When the truth finally surfaced, the sheer cruelty of her ordeal shocked the nation and exposed the darkness lurking within ordinary neighborhoods. The pain and anguish Junko endured were compounded by public outrage when her teenage perpetrators received sentences widely seen as shockingly lenient for such a brutal crime. What does it say about our legal system? Should age still be considered when the sheer brutality has not only taken a life, but also one's dignity? In southern France, Gisèle Pellicot's ordeal redefined the conversation around consent and violence. Drugged and SA'd by her husband and dozens of accomplices over 9 years, her case became one of the largest and most publicized SA trials in French history. Dominique Pellicot drugged his wife and invited men to assault her while unconscious, meticulously recording the abuse. The crime surfaced only after Dominique was arrested for unrelated voyeurism, leading to the discovery of thousands of images and videos. Gisèle's decision to waive anonymity and demand a public trial was unprecedented. 51 men were convicted, with sentences up to 20 years. Her courage sparked marches, murals, and calls for legal reform in France, where the law still defines SA by violence, not lack of consent. How can someone you have thought to be the love of your life invade and disrespect you not only as a woman but as a person? Mexico City, 2020. Ingrid Escamilla, a young woman with a promising future, is murdered and mutilated by her boyfriend. The brutality of the crime is matched only by the callousness of the media, which publishes graphic images of her body. After a violent argument, Eric Francisco Robledo Rosas stabbed and mutilated Ingrid, attempting to dispose of her remains. His own son witnessed the aftermath. The crime shocked the nation, but the media's sensational coverage sparked even greater outrage. Robledo was quickly arrested and sentenced to 70 years for femicide. The case ignited debates over media ethics, the failure of law enforcement, and the epidemic of gender-based violence in Mexico. Were the leaked photos accidental, or was this a sign of how people, even those we call leaders and in power, treat women with disrespect? Each of these cases reveals a different face of violence against women, hidden, institutional, domestic, and public. They force us to ask, how many stories remain untold? How do we balance justice and privacy, outrage and action? What darkness still festers behind closed doors waiting to be uncovered? What do you think? Are these isolated horrors or symptoms of something deeper? Could you spot the warning signs? Or would you too be fooled by the mask of normalcy? If these stories shook you, if you believe in the power of truth and justice, share your theories below. Subscribe for more cases. Next time, we'll unearth a mystery that even seasoned investigators can't explain. Stay curious. Stay safe.